So I started doing a few lists here with different statistical uh, things. So they're based on facts. These are the facts, and I'm starting with the top 10 all-time highest point scorers. And I mean, if you're a hockey fan, you know who's number one. You know it. Um, if even if you're not a hockey fan and you just had to guess who had scored the most points all time, and even if you only knew one player, you would be guessing probably the right player. So, yeah, we all know who's number one. And just for anyone who might not, I'm sure you all are hockey fans who are watching this, but just in case, a point is either a goal or an assist. So if you score into the net, then or if you deflect a shot into the net, then you have a point. And if you pass to the person who scores, who shoots it in the net, you have a point. And also, if you pass to the person who passes to the person who scores, you get a point. So that's as far as it goes. An assist is basically the pass, or if you shoot and it's deflected, that's also an assist. And then, yeah. So anyway, we all know who's number one if we're into hockey. But do you know the rest? I know, of course, all these players, but I didn't know the exact order. There's one player I thought was higher, which is interesting. And yeah, so do you know? You might. You totally might, but let's get into it. Number 10, we have Phil Esposito. And no active players are in the top 10, by the way. Phil Esposito has 1,590 points there, 717 goals, 873 assists, mostly with the Boston Bruins, although he also played with Chicago and New York, the Rangers. But again, there's no active players on here. The closest is Joe Thornton, for sure. And Joe Thornton had 1,528, so 1,528 points. And I think he still has a couple more games this year as well. So he's 62 points behind, and I think he has 19 points right now, so he's not scoring at a significant pace. Like, if he stays in for a couple more years, I don't think he's gonna catch up with Esposito. It's possible he could. Who knows if he will stay that long. But I don't think he's going to crack the top 10. The most likely to crack the top 10 who's still playing is Sidney Crosby. He's still about 200. I'm not sure exactly what it is. He's over 200 points behind. But, he's probably got a few more years left in him, and he's probably going to score at a higher pace for sure. And Ovechkin's like right behind him. I think Crosby right now is 34th in points, and Ovechkin is 35th. And so they're right next to each other. And I guess I made a little mistake. I just saw in the PowerPoint there. I guess you can see the years of number one. We all know who it is anyway, so it's not really a big giveaway. But yeah. Anyway, number 9, we have Joe Sakic with 1,641 points, 625 goals, 1,016 assists. Joe Sakic, of course, a very well-known player, a very legendary player, great player, won a couple cups with the Avs, and was possibly the main reason, as he was very much a clutch performer. Well, I don't know if you call it clutch, because you expect him to do good in the playoffs. He's the star. He's the star player, and he just was such a good playoff performer. Scored so many playoff goals. If we do another list on playoff goals, he's up there. He's up there for sure. But yeah, Joe Sakic, amazing player, good stuff, and he is number 9. And at number 8, we have one of the greatest players to ever play. He only has 1,723 points, and the only reason I say he only has that much is because, of course, with the way he played, he would probably, if he had played all the games, of course his career kept getting interrupted with different things, back problems, cancer, I forget what else, but he retired. I forget why he retired in 97 or after 97. But yeah, even after coming back, he played amazing hockey, and getting older like didn't seem to faze him. I should look up some of his points per game, because they are crazy, even for his age, when he's in 2003 or 2004, when he's a lot older. But yeah, definitely an amazing thing. And so I just want to point out too, like, he did not play 1,000 games. He did not play when you look at these numbers and you think, oh, he didn't play 1,000 games. Like, it's just even crazier. He has more assists than games. And of course, Gretzky does as well. I'm not sure. I didn't look at all these guys' games. There might be more, but I just think I don't think that the rest do. I think most players have a lot less assists than games. More points than games, a lot of them, but Lemieux with more assists than games is just off the charts, plus another 690 goals on top of that. Definitely one of the best players of all time. And Mario Lemieux, unreal. Interrupted career, but still an amazing career, and yeah, amazing player for sure. And that's an understatement. Number 7, we have Steve Eiserman, who just has a couple more goals than Lemieux and 30 more assists, but he has 1,755 points to put him 7th all-time in career points, and another great player, great career. At number 6, we have Marcel Dion, maybe a player that's a little less talked about than these others. He didn't have the cup raising that the others did, and I don't think he made the conference finals even. He's well, he's like Marcus Nass. He's a lot better than Marcus Naslund. I love Marcus Naslund. I'm a Canucks fan, so whenever I think of players who didn't quite make it past round 2, I think of Marcus Naslund, because I'm sad that he didn't. But anyway, 1,771 points, Marcel Dion, amazing player. One of the greatest of all time for sure, especially if he's up here and with this amount of points. 6th all time. Yeah, amazing player, Marcel Dion. Then at number 5 we have, if you didn't know this already, you might be surprised. I know I knew this a long time ago. I actually thought he was 4th, but turns out he is 5th, and that actually might have been recent, and that's probably why, because there is a player, I think, who climbed up here pretty recently. But yeah, we have Ron Francis, 1,798 points, and of course he only has 549 goals, which is still a lot of goals, great, but he is definitely well known for his assists, 2nd all-time in assists, 1,249. Another amazing player in Ron Francis, but again, not someone who's talked about as much as probably any of these other players, and if he is, it's probably because people are like, oh yeah, he's one of the best point scorers, he has some of the most points all time. But yeah, won 2 cups with the Penguins, and yeah, played for Carolina, took them to the finals. Wow. Was part of the team that went to the finals. But yeah, captained them, I think. I'm pretty sure he was the captain, so I could say captained them to the finals, where they lost to Detroit, but still wonderful player, amazing player, one of the best, and the second best for, well, I don't know if he was the second best passer, but second most assists, so he was a very good helper. Very good helper to both Lemieux, to Jágr. Just those are the primary ones when he was with Pittsburgh, but yeah, all-around good player. And 4th place, we have Gordie Howe, Mr. Hockey, 1,850 points. Now the 2nd most games played of all time, behind Patrick Marleau. But if you count what he did in the WHA, like, he has way more. Played till he was, I think, 52, 801 goals, 1,049 assists, and the greatest player to ever play before Gretzky, I think. Well, there's Bobby Orr, actually. Yeah, I'd actually say Bobby Orr. But yeah, still, legendary player, one of the greatest of all time, once again. And they call him Mr. Hockey for a reason. Number 3, we have Mark Messier. Not a huge fan of Messier, but I have to admit he is definitely one of the greatest players that has ever played. I see that Canucks logo there. I just wish I didn't have to put it up there, but I do want to be factual and not based off heart and emotion. So yeah, Mark Messier, 1,887 points. Great player, of course, with the Oilers and Gretzky. Of course, that helped his point totals, but was still an amazing player when he was with the Rangers as well, and led them to a Stanley Cup and played very well. Which was sad for me. But anyway, number 2, we have Jaromir Jagr, and he's the recent one who climbed up. I'm not sure when he passed everybody, but it makes sense why I thought Ron Francis was 4th, and then I saw that Jagr was 2nd, and I was like, oh yeah, that was a recent climb up. Ended his career in 2017 with the Flames. Ended his NHL career before that, and before coming back. In 2008, but yeah, look at all those teams. Mostly remembered for his days as a Penguin. That's where he won his cups, but he also made a nice finals run with the Boston Bruins in 2013. But yeah, legendary player, legendary hairstyle, 1,921 points, and the closest to Gretzky's 2,857 points. Wayne Gretzky has so many points that he has, like, only 2 players are within 1,000 points. Like, it's amazing. It's amazing to get 1,000 points, to have a career that gets to 1,000 points. I think of Paul Kariya just missing out, and it's sad because, well, concussions is what got Kariya, but he almost reached his milestone of 1,000 points, didn't quite. And so you think of like 1,000 points as just such a number of, like, to get to 1,000 is such a milestone. And then there's these guys who are getting close to 2,000. Jagr almost has 2,000. No one else has reached 2,000 except for Gretzky. But Gretzky, almost getting to 3,000, has over 1,000 more points than everybody else except for Jagr and Messier. And even them, it's almost 1,000. So, yeah. Yeah, I 100%. I don't think, I don't know. Personally, I think Gretzky is inarguably the greatest of all time, the greatest player ever. A lot of that had to do with his skill. A lot of that has to do with his smarts on the ice. He was one of the smartest players, if not the smartest, to play. Just the way he saw the ice and what he could do with it. And man, of course he played with great players too. But he was the driving force, absolutely the greatest of all time. And if Lemieux plays his entire career, the same amount of games as Gretzky, for sure Lemieux would be up there. But I don't think, again, that he would be the greatest anyway. But there's no way to know. So there isn't really a way to know. Like, Lemieux was on some big roles. Yeah. Interestingly enough, the only player to reach 200 points in a season is Gretzky, of course. Lemieux famously had 199 in a season, 1 point away. And the next highest after those two, because, I mean, if you made a list of them, they would be the entire top 10, I'm sure. But the one after them is Steve Eiserman. I believe it was 155 points, but I might be missing. And after that, I think it's Bernie Nichols, of all people. But I could be wrong in that. I didn't actually look at it. But as far as we know, as far as is the facts, right now, these are your top 10 all-time in career NHL points. So, yeah, good stuff. Of course, legendary players, but this is the order. These are the numbers, and those are the teams that they played for. All those kinds of things, the years they played for, and so there you go.